Well, hey there, model railroaders. It's the Train Freak with you again, and I thought I'd give you my weekly layout update, which is not going to be much of a layout update because it has been so hot and humid outside. I just checked the Weather Channel, and it says right now it is 95 degrees outside, but due to high humidity, the heat index is 111 degrees. So it feels like it's 111 outside, not 95, which is a huge difference. The other thing with that high humidity is in the high heat, the sweat on your body does not cool you down at all. It just makes it feel like you got out of the shower and your towel was already wet to begin with, like someone used your towel to dry off before you got in. So it's not really drying you off much. That's the best analogy I could think of. But I have been working on a couple of things. And before we get to those, I want to remind everyone to make sure you fill in that bell. And if you like this video, thumbs up. That helps, get my video out there to the YouTube subscribers, and that way they can find me, with YouTube's algorithms. And feel free to comment if you want to. So I have been working on two things. One, I've been working on a piece of software called Streamlabs, and that's so that way I could, maybe start doing some live streams, maybe fill-ins, basically not just be part of the YouTube community as a watcher, but, I want to be more involved, if that makes sense. So for the channels that are watching me out there that do live streams, that do invites, hey, I'm one you can invite if you want to. So, alright, now the other thing I've been working on. I have been working on all of my cabooses, locomotives, and rolling stock, trying to get it inventoried for my car card system. Now, all of the rolling stock that, doesn't have metal wheels, because I will not use plastic, just will not do it, and does not have functioning couplers, which preferably, eventually I'm going to upgrade all my stuff to metal Kadee couplers. Kadee's the way to go. It's the top of the line, and metal is a whole lot better than plastic. And if you put the magnets down in your track, you can use it to actually uncouple the cars without having to use a little, skewer or a pencil or something to uncouple. But I will show you my progress on that. I have got all of my locomotives that are in working condition, or dummies. I've got those all cataloged, and I have all my cabooses that I plan on keeping cataloged as well. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, I did do a video. It's a how-to operations. I will make sure I add that link in the description below. How-to operations car cards, and I explain how that all works. And I've been working a little bit on the waybill system, trying to get it figured out so that way I can do a how-to video on setting up the waybills software that goes along with my trains from Shenandoah software. And then, just trying to get things ready to go. I know I'm not in the... I really can't do any type of operations right now. I've got to get my layout up to level 2, which is where my staging yard is coming from. But let me go ahead and show you what I am working on and where I'm at with things. Okay, so all of these right here in front of me are fixing to get their photo op session. And for good lighting, I use a lantern. And I normally put this on bright light, which you can see is pretty bright, especially when I put it over there and just kind of... So, gotta have good lighting, especially for these car cards, for your pictures, so that way they do stand out a little bit. Because if you have not good lighting, especially on the red cards, that I'm using for the cabooses, the cabooses don't show up very well. But, so... you can see all of these totes here. I've got 2 small ones, 2 big ones, and even more stacked on top. These all have to be cataloged. Now, these are all ready to go. They've got metal wheels. They've got you know, good couplers on them, whether they're Katie's or something comparable. These are all ready to go on the layout. They just need a car card to, you know, to attach with them. And then, like I said, I've already got the locomotives and the cabooses done. I'll do my locomotives on yellow, and I do all my cabooses on red. The rest of these cars will be on white, unless there's like a hazmat, like maybe a tank car or some of the covered hoppers. Let's see, like this one for example. Don't know exactly what it's going to be in there. This is actually one that I picked up from that one place in town that all they do is collections. Well, I can't really tell what's on this one, but this one more than likely is going to have a orange car card to let me know it's hazmat, and there's another one right there. So, but I do have a set like this one here, for example. Well, it's that tanker right there that you can barely see. That one is a maintenance away tanker, and it carries potable water. So, for example, that one is going to have a regular white card because it's potable water is not hazmat. So, this is where I'm starting at. So, I will, you know, take a break and see if I can't try to choose some of this stuff down, and then I will show you the yard full. And I know typically a yard is not supposed to be full because you're supposed to have stuff going here and there, but in this instance the yard is more than likely going to be full because I don't have anywhere else to put this stuff. So, and eventually I will, you know, with the staging I will build a few extra tracks not attached to the staging, just to kind of put some of the extra cars that are, you know, not in service at the time. So this is where I'm at, and I will show you my update here in a little while. Alright y'all, I'm back. I went ahead and printed off some more cards earlier. Before you saw the yellow and the reds for caboose, yellows for locomotives, orange hazmat, white pretty much the rest of the rolling stock. And if I have any type of maintenance away stuff, more than likely it'll be white as well. But you can see as far as the color of the cars themselves on the white, it's really good. Orange, it's okay. I mean, this one's supposed to be silver, that's supposed to be yellow, and then blue, green, and, you know, white and red. Locomotives, not too shabby. The only downside is like this one here is supposed to be white. Well, you can see it's yellow. And then the red, probably not the best choice. As you can see, that one's supposed to be white, silver. That one's actually red, so it doesn't do too bad, and those other three are brown. So maybe if I had more of a pinker red and not as a bright, you know, a dark deep red, it would have done better. But man, I really don't know if I want to go and invest in a full pack of cardstock of a salmon color for what, 7 cabooses. So, you know, just that being said, passenger cars will not get car cards at all, which I do have a small passenger set there, and in that tote over there is a passenger set as well. Those are the only type of cars that will not get car cards. But I still got this to go through, and I started on that tote there. I've sorted all that out. Now this stack over here is just the empty boxes, which I'll just put back in the tote, but these are not empty. Those actually have stuff in them. So, I mean, this is a very timely process. Now, something I realized on this one here, this Gulf SHPX, anytime that I find a car that's got like a you know, it's a company owned, private owned, I try to find, you know, what commodity, you know, do they ship in these cars? Not necessarily where the headquarters is, but what do they ship in there? You know, for example, after doing some research on this Ajax car, I found out that they actually used something called soda ash. It's sodium bicarbonate, but also they also call it soda ash, which soda ash is transported through a covered hopper. So that works. But for Gulf Oil Company, which does crude oil, I couldn't find any of the ingredients to refine crude oil that would come in a covered hopper. The closest thing I saw was asphalt, but asphalt would be shipped in an open hopper, not a covered hopper. So I really don't know. I'm probably going to end up not using this one on my layout. I'll probably end up selling it. And I'm sure there's a few other cars I'll come across in here that I might do the same thing. So it is what it is. You know, sometimes you just end up with things that just do not flow with what you're doing. I'm not one of those that's going to have, you know, a really old locomotive with newer cars on there, or, you know, cars that are 40, 50 years old, you know, with that type of locomotive. I mean, I'm kind of running a consistent time period, and the way I've got my locomotive set up is I can actually move out of one time period to another. So, alright, well, I'm going to try to get these cut up, folded up. I plan on doing a whole bunch more. I mean, it's just very time consuming. So I will follow back with y'all here in a little while. Alright, y'all, I'm back. So after cataloging a few cars, and my wife did help me a lot on this project, and my son Aaron did a little bit, and you're going to more than likely see him help me on the next bit too. You can see we went ahead and made a ton of car cards. Now, I still have a good ways to go. I've got this whole stack and everything in the tote under it. And I still got to catalog those cars, but those will not get car cards at all. But that is one complete passenger set. This tote here is full of empty boxes. I had another small tote. Well, now those are all empty boxes because here are all the cars that I just got done cataloging there. So the next thing I'm going to do is we're going to grab these and take these to the layout and get them put in place where they belong. And then I will show you what we've done at the end of that. Okay, so I'm back at the layout, and I actually kind of lied about one thing on the very beginning of this video, that I didn't work on the layout at all. Well, in a way I lied, in a way I didn't, because that part of the video was recorded before I actually found some scrap plywood that was the exact cuts that I needed. The only thing I had to cut out was around the 2x4. But this is the staging area back here. And so that way you can see, yep, there's my wall, there's my desk. So this is staging. And I'm only going to have one actual staging track. But I will have 4 other tracks, or 3 other tracks, I can't remember exactly how many. But they're going to be spaced 3 inches apart. So that way I can easily get my hands around the cars. And those other tracks are not going to be connected to the layout at all, just like this track will be. More than likely, I'm not even going to use road bed because they're going to do nothing but storage. So as the train comes in for staging, I will end up just taking the car off and moving it to an empty spot on the track. And I am using re-railers at the end. And instead of using end bumpers, I just went ahead and found a small piece of 3/4 inch plywood that I had scrapped and made it to where the trains cannot, you know, go off. So, but only the front track is going to be a powered track, and it's just going to be the staging track. And then here I have my bins. So yes, I am using 4 other tracks. I will have the staging track and then storage track 1, 2, 3, and 4. And if you're wondering how I screwed these on there, these are actually number 6's 1-inch screws. I did use drill a pilot hole. And then these are the washers I used here. They're called finishing washers. And they're a number 8. So that number 6 actually fits inside that number 8 very well, and it gives it a really, really good clean look. The number 8s do fit in there, but they kind of stick out a little bit, so I really liked the number 6s. So now what I need to do is I've got to look through the white cards. I've already found my locomotive, which is that one there. And I found my caboose, which is that one way over there. And I'm going to go ahead and act like I've got a staging train ready to go, even though I do not have any more of the layout ready to get this train over, and plus there's no power here either. But I'm going to go ahead and move the cards in here, so that way at least I have the cars, or the cards representing each cart in the correct spot. Alright, so I'm going to do that, and then I will come right back. Alright, so I've got this train classified in here, which you can see, and oh look, we got an orange card. How about that? Well, that's representing that car there, because for gasoline service, I mean, that is hazmat, and that's why I have that orange card. And other than that, that's really the only part of the layout that I actually worked on. But like I said, the track, I mean, it ends right there. And this will be kind of a tunnel on the other side of the 2x4 wall, the stud wall. This is where the backdrop will be up, and it's actually going to come out behind an industrial business, so you're not going to see the train come out. It's just going to look like the train came out from nowhere once this is all covered, and you're not seeing a whole bunch of junk sitting on the shelves that ain't even screwed in right now. But yeah, ironically, you know, I had, you know, some plywood here holding the businesses up, or my buildings up, and that was actually cut to one of the pieces over there. So, you know, I used it, found another piece, and which was actually the one sitting on top over there. So I used what I had, and I didn't have to get baked too much. But now the yard is starting to look a little full, and you can see I've got all my car cards in place. So got some of my locomotives out, just kind of sitting around in different areas. One sitting on the turntable. I got 4 locomotives right there. I got some in the machine shop being serviced, some waiting to be serviced, and looks like you got one ready to make a train, getting ready to put the caboose on the one end and then run around to the other end. So, all right, y'all. Well, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Like I said, it wasn't really much. I know I kind of went over the car card stuff again, and that's really what I've been working on, because of the fact that it's just been so hot and humid outside. And even with this garage door closed and a fan in here just trying to circulate air, it still gets miserable after you're out here for about 15 minutes. So, unfortunately, I wish I could show you more, but unfortunately, I really don't have anything more to show. So, other than that, like I said, if you haven't subscribed already, make sure you do so. Do keep in mind, I do have a 200 subscriber contest coming up. Once I hit 200 subscribers, the prizes have already been purchased. You can actually go and see those prizes in previous videos. And no, I'm not going to tell you which ones. I want you to hunt for them. But there are prizes in, you know, for 200 subscriber giveaway. When we get up to, say, 180, that's when I will actually start the actual contest, give people time to get entered, and once they get entered, then after I get once I hit 200, then I will do the drawing on a live stream for y'all to watch. So like I said, if you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Also, make sure you shade in that bell so you get the future notifications. Without the future notifications, you ain't gonna know when the subscriber contest kicks off. So make sure you shade that bell in, and then, you know, thumbs up if you like the video. That will actually help, you know, it get out to the non-subscribers a lot faster through YouTube's algorithms on their impressions. So that will actually help get to that 200 subscriber faster, which faster we get to 200, faster I can give a prize away. And I will do it again at 3, 4, 5, so forth, all the way up to 1,000. So every 100 subscribers I get, I will do a contest. And then so thumbs up, help me out there with that, and then, you know, feel free to comment if you want to. So, alright, other than that, I'm gonna let y'all have at it. Y'all be safe out there, and happy railroading.